Now at 9 on KENS 5, two shootings happening just minutes apart. One was a random act of violence, while the other happening over a parking spot. We have the details. Plus, a woman injured in the bleacher collapse at the Kendall County Fair has died. What we are learning right now about those bleachers. And Clearing the Shelters, the new program making it easier to give a dog or cat a forever home. Cute kitty. And good morning. Thanks for sticking with us here on KENS 5. I'm Sarah Duran, and welcome to your Saturday morning. If you haven't had a chance to step outside, you're going to want to because the weather feels fantastic, Maggie. It feels
fantastic.
Like
I know. Fantastic is the word, and I like that you brought that in because all I have is gorgeous this morning. But fantastic, gorgeous, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be stunning. Here's a third word I'm going to throw in. Stunning today. Here's your live look around town right now. We do have clouds, sunshine, more sunshine on tap throughout the day. That sticks around tomorrow, but you'll notice there's quite a breeze out there right now. That's going to impact our dew points, plus next week's forecast too. So we'll talk all about that coming up in your full weather in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Maggie. The overnight, two shootings happening within minutes apart on our city's northwest side. The first one was around 12:45 this morning on Bandera Road and West Skyview. Police say they were called for a man who was shot in the foot. When officers located the victim near a bus stop, they actually discovered he had 3 other gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police do not have any witnesses or suspects at this time. They do believe, though, this was a random act of violence. And just about 10 minutes later, police were called to the Quick Trip off Fredericksburg Road. This is video from the scene. According to investigators, 2 men got into an argument over a parking spot that it turned physical. At some point, the suspect pulled out a gun and shot the victim in the chest. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The suspect did take off, but police have information on who he may be. And this morning, we are hearing from the family of a grandmother who died following a bleacher collapse at the Kendall County Fair. They are just devastated by the tragic event that they say could have been prevented. 79-year-old Vera Smith died from her injuries yesterday. Bernie officials say the bleachers at the rodeo were not inspected and no permits for the construction were ever issued. A civil engineering expert told us every city has its own rules for inspections. A common oversight in a place with a smaller population like Bernie is the durability of older structures. Bernie city leaders told us old bleachers were salvaged to make new ones that included 8 VIP sections and a bar. Experts say when you change the use of a structure, that could create some problems, which is why getting an inspection is essential, especially outside a major city.
The further away you go from the major centers of population, the harder it is for all those jurisdictions to manage the engineering side of things, because there are going to be less people and less resources to do it. This is true for a structure like the one we're talking about.
Bernie is hiring a structural engineer to do a report on the failed bleachers. The first inspection should be complete this upcoming week, while the other will be done within the next month. The city is also reviewing their permitting and inspection processes. An all-new video this morning from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office showing a moment a deputy hit a suspect with his own patrol unit. It happened as the man tried running away from a traffic stop.
Donley Cove, turning on Donley Cove. Okay, the guy with the gun is running. He's dressed in all black shorts.
This video here on your screen is from the early morning of July 16th. VCSO says patrol deputy Stephen Antu started following the car on East Calabar Road after the passenger pointed a gun out the window. That's what you're looking at now. The deputy says it happened twice. He continued following the car, as you see here, and tried to pull it over, but it kept going. The passenger eventually bails out of the car right there. He dropped the gun, then picks it up and runs off. As the man crossed the street, the deputy hits him right there with his unit. Stop that video. The man is identified as 20-year-old Ivan Castillo. He was in the hospital for a few days for treatment and was then arrested. The incident on all of this is still under investigation. A former Rayfeo, Kenneth Flores, will spend 4 years behind bars. Flores, along with his brother Chris and mother Irma, were all sentenced Friday in federal court for defrauding the U.S. government. Judge Fred Briery sentenced him to 4 years in federal prison and 3 years probation after pleading guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States.
Mr. Flores, would you like to say anything regarding your sentence?
I have no comment.
His older brother, Chris, was also sentenced to 2 years in prison and 1 year probation. His mother, Irma, was sentenced to 3 years probation after pleading guilty to 1 count of gratuity paid to a public official. All 3 must each pay back $3.7 million each in restitution. And happening now, Mothers Against Drunk Driving is hosting its annual Walk Like Mad event. It's all happening at Palo Alto College. The event raises awareness and funding for MADD to continue their important mission to eliminate drunk and drug driving. And what you're looking at now is a live look at the event this morning. The walk will start here in about 25 minutes. And the reason I'm here at the desk today is because our very own Vanessa Croy is currently emceeing the event. And of course, we'll be checking in with her coming up in about 30 minutes. Looking forward to that. With tens of thousands of strays in San Antonio, many local animal adoption organizations are filled up with pets needing a loving home. One organization is putting out the call for adopters and in a hurry. Right now, San Antonio Pets Alive has over 800 cats and dogs in their care and taken about 30 animals every single day. But 2 events they're holding hope to get many of those felines and canines into their forever homes, especially kittens, since this kitten season was longer than normal.
I think it was probably the milder weather and a lot of the rain we had this summer, which resulted in more kittens, and we even have a lot of younger bottle babies actually coming in.
To find out more about San Antonio Pets Alive, their events, and how you can adopt this kitten, we have the link with this story right now on KENS5.com. College students are apparently at the top of the list for crooks, the scams to look out for as they head back to class. And our Verify team finds out when enough screen time turns into too much screen time for your kids. Plus,
it's the 9th annual World Heritage Festival here in San Antonio. I'm Earl Sotomayor, and I'll have all of the excitement this morning and what you can expect.